Sometimes things are actually going well. I'm in a conversation and it feels easy. I'm not overthinking. I'm not trying to say the right thing. I'm just there. And then something shifts. Not enough to explain, just enough to feel. I get a little quieter, a little more aware of myself, a little less in it. Nothing happened, but it feels like something did. And I catch myself trying to figure out why. If this feels familiar, stay with me. It only shows up when things feel good. I've noticed this doesn't happen when things are clearly off, when something's awkward or tense or not working. I stay in it. I try to fix it. But when something feels easy, that's when I start pulling back a little, which is strange because that should be the part where I relax. But instead, something in me, it tightens just enough to notice. It doesn't feel like a choice. It doesn't feel like I'm deciding to do it. It feels like I catch it happening. 1 second, I'm in the moment, and then the next, I'm just slightly out of it. Still there, still talking, but something about it feels different. And I can't really point out why. I remember it happened in the middle of something normal. I remember being in a conversation that wasn't intense at all, just easy, no pressure, not trying to land anything perfectly. And in the middle of it, I felt that shift. Nothing changed in what we were talking about. There wasn't a weird moment. There wasn't something I said that felt off. It was just normal. But internally, I started paying attention to myself, how I sounded, what I was saying, whether I was coming across the right way. And then it kind of layered, not all at once, just one small thought, and then another. And suddenly, I was slightly behind what was happening. Like I was thinking about what I was saying while I was still saying it. And just like that, I wasn't in it anymore. I was watching it. It's like something is going fine, and then I'm just a half step removed from it. Good moments feel a little more exposed. I think a part of it is that when something feels good, I'm a little more open, less guarded, less controlled. And that openness comes with a kind of exposure, not in a dramatic way, just enough to feel like this matters a little more now. And when something matters more, I start to feel it differently. That moment turns into something I'm aware of. At some point, the moment stops just being a moment, and it becomes something I'm aware of while it's happening. Like, this is going well. This actually feels good. I don't want to mess this up. And that awareness doesn't feel bad, but it changes the texture of it, because now I'm not just in it, I'm thinking about it at the same time. Maybe nothing actually changed. I remember trying to figure out exactly where the shift happened, replaying that moment, going back over it in my head, over and over, looking for the point where something went off. And I couldn't find it. No sentence, no reaction, no moment where it actually changed. The conversation didn't change. The energy didn't change. Everything on the outside stayed the same. The only thing that changed was where my attention went. I went from being in it to watching it. And that's such a small shift, but it doesn't feel small when it happens, because once I'm watching it, I can't fully get back into it the same way. And that's when I started realizing, maybe this isn't something breaking. Maybe it's just something shifting. I remember pulling back after something felt good. I remember leaving something and thinking, that actually felt nice. Nothing big, just good. And almost immediately, I stepped back from it, started replaying it, looking at it from the outside, like I didn't fully trust in it yet, or didn't want to settle into it too much. Something feels good, and instead of staying with it, I created a little distance from it. Distance feels like it's safer. There's something about not fully leaning in that feels a little safer to me. If I stay slightly removed, I don't get too affected. If I don't fully settle into it, I don't have to deal with it changing either. So even if I'm not consciously choosing it, there's a part of me that feels more comfortable there, just slightly outside the moment. It turns into something I start managing. Once that shift happens, I'm not really just in the experience anymore. I'm managing it, adjusting how I respond, thinking about how it's going, trying to keep it in a good place. And it's subtle. It doesn't feel like control. It feels like staying on top of it. But the more I do that, the less natural it feels, because now there's a layer between me and what's happening. I'm not just responding, I'm checking my response while I'm giving it. And that creates this slight delay. And like I'm always just a fraction behind the moment. So something that started simple turns into something I'm quietly trying to hold together. And that's unusual when it starts to feel different. Staying feels unfamiliar. I've been noticing that staying in a good moment without adjusting it, without monitoring it, without preparing for it to change, feels a little unfamiliar. Not wrong, just unfamiliar. And I think that's the part I'm still figuring out. Not how to fix the shift, just how to notice it and not immediately follow it. I don't think this is about forcing myself to stay present or trying to hold on to something. I think it's just noticing that moment when I quietly step back, because nothing actually broke, nothing actually changed. I just became aware of it. And that awareness pulled me slightly out of it. And maybe over time, I don't have to go as far with that. Maybe I can just notice the shift and stay a little closer. Not perfectly, just a little more than before. I'm Scott Stewart, and you're not crazy.